Hey there, my name's Ethonra, and welcome to Destiny 2 Curse of Osiris. Kinda. We're not doing that just yet. I wanted to show off one of the unique exo-related ghost scans in this game. And while that's loading in, let me go and say this. It's kind of a blessing and a curse to be such a small YouTuber, because I don't have to worry about letting down like a million subscribers. But regardless of that, I am sorry I wasn't able to finish the Halloween video like I thought. Without making too many excuses, one is October snuck up on me so fast to the point where even when I was talking to my dad about it, it was actually November. It's just how fast this year's been going by. Ever since the COVID outbreak, the year has just flown by. Like, it happened in March, and here we are in November. Election day, as a matter of fact. Not going to get into politics here. I try to keep most real-life issues out of my videos, besides mentioning COVID. But yeah, it just kind of flew by. And I did plan to start early, like I was kind of going off and on around October 27th or something, but at the same time I was dealing with a bunch of lag. I was trying to play my other limited time games. Destiny 2 is just one, Final Fantasy 14 is another, PlayStation Plus as a whole, actually, or PlayStation ripoff as I like to personally call it. So I just put it off for too long, and then by the time I finally attempted to get to it, it was just too much. And that's the sad part, because I know when I finally release it, most people are like, oh yeah, you know, I could have done this in my sleep. Well, that's nice. I'm not trying to complete it. I'm trying to perfect it, like literally perfect. At the same time, not only making it perfect, but making it cinematic, making it feel real, you know? But that's neither here nor there. Just sorry for like the one person that probably got hyped about that. But I will absolutely be sure to do it next year. I usually don't fail the same way twice whenever I can help it. Alright, so here it is. It's very short, but very important because it dives a little bit into the background of the Exos.
Ah, I think this conflux reacted to your exo body, and then it burned out. Is there some connection between the exos and the Vex? That can't be.
And just so you don't think that Exos and Exos alone are getting special love from this game, that's not true. There's also special dialogue for the Awoken. I don't know about humans. I honestly don't know. It seems like humans get the most generic dialogue,
but construction project. Their persistence is inspiring.
But Awoken and Exos do get unique dialogue, like from that conflux right there. Or if you're an Awoken, Zavala will say something like, "Remember, we're Guardians first, Awoken second." So there's not just the Exos, just I'm an Exo, and considering the expansion that's coming out in just a few days, obviously I'm going to be focusing on them, and I'm going to try not to waste too much time because I don't want to mention what it is, because if I do, it's going to happen. But let's just say, hey, welcome to the stream. But let's just say, considering the fact that I'm not wigging out every 2 seconds, we're going to assume that it is stable enough, and so once I finish this patrol, we'll officially get started. There we go. Alright. Oh, and another reason why I decided to show that is because this next expansion is pretty much completely dedicated to Osiris and the Vex. Thankfully, I don't have to explain any of that too much. The expansion does a decent job of doing that. But when it first came out, a lot of people were disappointed for a lot of reasons. First and foremost, it introduced Mercury. And if you saw the Nessus map, or any map I've brought up in the past, and then look at this, you'll notice this is extremely bare-boned. Like, it has the infinite forest, but that doesn't really count. It's part of Mercury, but again, that doesn't count. That's like me saying the arms dealer mission is a part of the EDZ. It doesn't count. This is the actual play area on Mercury until you go into the infinite forest, so I guess. But yeah, a lot of people didn't like that because it was so bare bones, and that Trials of Osiris didn't come out with an expansion completely dedicated to Osiris. So it's not the best expansion in a lot of people's eyes. But much like with a lot of the in-game movies in this game, the in-game movie is pretty great. Also, now
when
that I
the
think
Red
about
Legion attacked, it almost cost us everything. It took a miracle to save us. The awakening of the Traveler. This is our new beginning. The maps are blank. The rules are gone. All we know is we must become more than what we were. This small corner of the cosmos is the only place that is forever ours. And the universe watches us with envious eyes. We've proven we can fight threats from beyond the stars. But now there are things stirring beneath our feet, provoked by the Traveler's light. Our war is just beginning.
This cutscene is especially cool because this is the Vault of Glass, which is a big deal to me because I was around when it was relevant, and it was, to me, the funnest raid in Destiny 1.
Ominous rocks, killer robots, people in mortal danger. Seriously, aren't you tired of this?
Fatigue is a distraction from our purpose. As are complaints.
Oh, I haven't begun to complain yet. Ouch! Ugh! Now I'm complaining.
Focus, Sagira.
Reach for the sky, big guy. Need help? Again?
I've got it, thank you.
Well, Osiris. What did you see? Slow down. Wait. I thought Oh, Go! To your left! 2 o'clock! Medium range! You're welcome! You know, I can't help but notice that even with all of reality to explore, you keep picking the places where they shoot at us.
We can't stay here. If the Vex succeed, it's the end of everything. Sagira, we can see your light. You have to go.
Nope, not leaving you. Without me, there's no coming back.
If I don't stop the Vex, there won't be anything to come back to. I'm doing this for the both of us.
Don't you even... Osiris!
So yeah, that's how this expansion starts. Couple of things, not quite related to what just happened, but Sagira is also a very cool character in this game. Really, if anything, she really makes me wish we could make our Ghost have kind of a different personality, because our Ghost, no offense, I love the little guy. He's kind of bland, though. He's known as being one of the strict ones. He's also gets jealous very easily. It's actually quite adorable, but we'll talk about that when we get there.
Guardian, thank you for coming. There's been a development on Mercury. Strange reports from the cultists clinging to what's left of the planet. Normally, I'd ignore their conspiracy theories. But one of my hidden brought me this.
A dead ghost?
She's not dead. Her name is Sagira. I've known her a very long time. And her guardian, Osiris.
The Osiris? The most powerful guardian ever. The hero of six fronts. The Zavala before Zavala?
Zavala wouldn't like to hear you call him that. Most guardians won't even speak Osiris's name. He was the only Vanguard commander ever exiled from the city. And the man who taught me what it means to be a warlock. We found Sagira on Mercury, and at the same time, Vex activity there surged exponentially.
And you think Osiris might be involved?
I need to know what happened, even if the Vanguard wants to forget him. When I lost my light, I didn't have anything else. I was empty. Then you came to Io, and you helped me find my way back. I need that friend again, Guardian. Go to Mercury. Take Sagira with you. The followers of Osiris, the few who remain, might know what her presence means. And for now, let's keep this between us. I'd hate to have to throw you off this wall.
That was a joke, right?
That was a joke.
Oh yes, and that's also another good thing about this expansion. It gives you a bit more insight into Ikora Rey if you didn't really know her that much, especially from Destiny 1. But as I was saying, Sagira, if anything, makes me wish we could customize our ghosts a bit better. As it was said back in the golden age of Destiny, Destiny was the chosen one. It had so much potential to bring us so many things, and as potential is unfortunately oft want to do, it was squandered.
The Traveler transformed Mercury into a garden world. It was a paradise, until the Vex came. The Vex replaced the planet's core with their own machines. We call it the Infinite Forest, an ever-expanding labyrinth of realities. No two paths are ever the same. No one has ever escaped. It was Osiris's obsession.
Something else, I do like some of the music in this expansion, specifically the one we heard a little bit while talking to Ikora.
Welcome to Mercury, Guardian. The signs told me you would come.
What a coincidence. We followed the signs here too. And by signs, I mean facts.
That too is a sign. I am Brother Vance of the followers of Osiris, Keeper of the Lighthouse, and Oracle of the Lost Prophecies.
So as I was saying, well, hold on, I think they're about to talk again. And I'll get more into what I meant by potential and Sagira making me wish we could do certain things. Hey, welcome to the stream.
There is a Vex gateway near your location. Osiris spent years studying it. He was convinced it was the door to the Infinite Forest. If it is still possible to find Osiris, we need to open that door.
Ikora Ray, Osiris's greatest student.
Brother Vance, Osiris's greatest fan.
So as I was saying, with Sagira, I wish they'd allow us to customize our ghosts, and our main guardian for that matter, their personality a bit, especially ghosts, because you only get the one option. But in the new expansion, Beyond Light, it seems we can give our ghosts certain perks. That's great, because that makes them even more viable than they already are. But something else I would like would be if we could. It reminds me of the glamour system from Final Fantasy XIV. It'd be nice if we could make our ghosts look however we wanted them to look, while still giving them the perks that we want. For example, the Kit Bash shell that I really like, the one I'm using right now, this one, it looks very hunter-esque to me. And being a hunter, of course, I want to use it. But it's better used in Crucible, in PvP. So out here right now is not doing me as good as other ghost shells could. I would like to change that. Oh yeah, I never mentioned this before, but those laser weapons the Vex use, like that Hobgoblin just did, those are actually new to Destiny 2. Those didn't exist in Destiny 1, and they suck. They don't do a lot of damage, but if you're close to dying, especially if there's a void burn on, you're almost certainly going to die, because they can't really be dodged. Not at first, anyway, especially if you're not ready for it. Because all the Vex has to do is simply look at you.
I'm so pleased Osiris has brought you to me, his most faithful servant.
Considering how you revere a man who questions everything, I'm surprised how well faith serves you.
The Vex are at my door. Osiris has not returned. Faith is all I have left.
The gateway to the Infinite Forest. A place from which no one has ever returned. Not even Osiris.
Also, I explained this before, but in the off chance someone new is watching, the reason why I'm killing everything is because I'm racking up kills. One, for when I get my super, like I do right now, and two, is to add kills under the belt of my Ace of Spades. I want to get to 100,000 kills. And I don't want to risk looking, because it kind of goes into a bit of spoiler territory. But last I looked, I was around 35,000. So still a bit off, but getting there. That's also a good example of why I kill everything. The yellow health bar enemies are more likely to drop it, but it can drop from literally anything. I've even gotten exotics from regular red health enemies. But that's another reason why I like to kill everything.
Well, I'm ready if you are. We can't get through. If Osiris's ghost were awake, then maybe she could help.
Osiris, preserve us. You have his ghost? Sagira? Please, please, bring her to me.
Little trick when it comes to heavy ammo with rocket launchers.
Descendants. We haven't seen these Vex since the Vault of Glass.
You actually want to try not to pick up ammo unless you've already used 2 shots, because you're going to get at least 2 rockets back per heavy brick, like that one right there. So I might as well at least fire 2 shots before picking it up. This is also a good time to mention this because it has killed every Destiny player at least once. If it's never happened to you, you almost can't even call yourself a Destiny player. But another new thing about Destiny 2 is how the Cabal like to enter the room, which is dropping in from orbit, going 1,000,000 miles an hour. And if you just so happen to be standing in where they spawn in at, it will kill you immediately. I don't think it's possible to survive it. And the reason why is because it's a literal orbital drop. And the reason why I'm bringing that up is because, as you can see, the Vex here, some of that reminds me of my younger days in Destiny 1. I remember one time I was actually standing inside of a Vex summoning cloud before I actually knew what it was. And it's perfectly fine to do that. It doesn't hurt you, but you obviously don't want to be there if it summons something like that. But that being said, the Vex will summon like a little storm cloud, and you can get out of that. You have plenty of time to move.
There, take out the module.
Yep, already did it.
Vex from different timelines are converging on Mercury. That's bad.
You can't do that with the Cabal. You just have to know where they're going to drop in at. There is no warning. And that is super, it's as cheap as it sounds.
I don't know what I would have done if Osiris hadn't sent you to me. In return, the followers of Osiris can help you revive his ghost. We have a hidden temple on Earth. Take Sagira to these coordinates. I will notify the followers that you are coming. Now that the lighthouse is safe, we can prepare for Osiris's return. All of the lost prophecies are coming to pass. I'm finally going to meet Osiris.
Yeah, Brother Vance is a very interesting character. He's almost comical in a way. As Ikoa Ray said, he is Osiris's biggest fan. And for those who don't know, fan doesn't just mean fan. It actually means fanatic. That's where fan comes from. And Brother Vance absolutely lives up to that term. Also bears noting that Brother Vance was in Destiny 1. He was the original handler of the Trials of Osiris. Which again, him being his biggest fan does make sense. So we get to learn a little bit more about him. One of the things is he is blind. He does mention that in Destiny 1. He is blind, which is interesting for two reasons. One is he's physically blind, as well as being utterly blind and faithful to Osiris, like blind loyalty. And the fact that the Osiris symbol is an open eye. So, kind of double irony there. He seems like a nice enough guy, but again, fanatic. And I think we're going to get to see a bit of that in this expansion. He also, kind of hard to say how he feels about Ikora Rey, because he does respect her as being Osiris' greatest student. But at the same time, I think he doesn't quite like her because Osiris puts her on a higher pedestal than him. Again, we'll see more about that.
The coordinates Brother Vance gave us are just beyond the village.
Hawthorne scouts surveyed that area in the Red War. There's no temple there, just an old radio tower.
Have a little faith, Ikora.
I'm glad I didn't say anything because that's exactly... Is that supposed to be rain? I haven't ran this expansion in a while, so I'm not used to seeing that. And if it is rain, it's like low quality rain, which is unfortunate. I was hoping these would be good. I didn't mention these in my last stream. I mentioned pikes. These are heavy pikes. They're a bit bigger, a bit thicker, if you will. I believe they pretty much have the same movement speed. But the two main things that are different is one is his primary fire. Are these much slower but much more powerful arc bullets. And then the second thing is its dodge to the side releases these bouncing, homing arc mines. So we're going to try to keep this thing.
Are the followers all as passionate as Brother Vance?
You mean fanatical? Yes. They follow the idea of Osiris. They do not know the man as I did. But they're our best chance to revive Sagira.
A little harder to aim these because they move a bit slower, so it's harder to lead enemies that are strafing. But as you can see, pretty much makes up for that with its sheer damage. Also, it bears noting that things like pikes, heavy pikes, are different than using like the tank from the last expansion, because with those, by the way, that's known as a walker. It's basically a spider tank. Unfortunately, we never do get to pilot one of those. They're incredibly dangerous, mostly for that right there. You cannot tank one of those shots. It'll kill you every time. If you have something like a Titan bubble, you could survive it, provided you're inside the bubble. And I think a Titan's, got the official name for it, their tower wall. I think it can take one of those shots. I'm pretty sure it can. I believe I've done it before. But as far as taking a direct hit, nah. Especially when you don't have to. It's a very easy move to dodge, provided you're paying enough attention. Or don't get stuck while trying to dodge it. But anyway, as I was saying with the tanks and pikes and whatnot, is while the tanks straight up have their own health, the pikes kinda do, kinda don't. It's basically your health and their health. Like, the lower your health is a reflection of how much health the pike has. but at the exact same time, like he'll be on fire and like sparks are coming out of it and stuff when you're in red health. But once you're back to full health with your regen, the pike itself, that's referring to heavy pikes as well, won't regenerate. They'll still be like on fire and stuff, and they can still be killed or destroyed, I should say, pretty easily. So it's really weird. It's like it shares your health sometimes, or at least a little bit, but not completely. Yeah, that was an excellent example. Yeah, I knew that mine would do it. I guess that goes to show it's been a while since I've been on one. The pike's health is actually showing the pike's health and not mine. See, mine is full. The pike isn't. So I'm not sure how long that's been there, but I will say at least in Destiny 1,
I feel bad for anyone
used to
who
share
has to
health.
live out here.
Osiris would say it's a trial. If his followers can't survive here, they aren't worthy to begin with.
And of course, unfortunately, there's a regular pike. Don't recall if we get another heavy pike, so I'm gonna have to treat this one a bit better. But don't want to pass up on heavy ammo either. I don't know about that. I'm pretty sure I wasn't touching those. Oh, okay. I see. It is possible to kill.
It really is just a radio tower. And the Fallen got here first.
That's what faith in Osiris gets you.
She's not entirely wrong. About Osiris is he's not like some grand savior, not the way most people see him as anyway. If the Osiris followers had simply contacted Vanguard, hey, we're being attacked by Fallen, do you think maybe you can come and help us? Zavala easily would have sent someone to go help them. But instead, as Akora kind of led to, they just have blind faith in Osiris. Osiris will save us, or we'll take care of it ourselves. And if we can't handle it, then we deserve to die here, or who knows what exactly they think like, but you get my point. They'd rather completely and utterly rely on Osiris than an actual source that could help them. I was saying though, it is possible to kill all the Fallen, even the ones inside this building without getting off this pike. But for the sake of time, I'll just go ahead and cook it. That's what I'm saying. I know aim assist has played a part. Yeah, right, they just took the place and already got their Fallen stuff set up, so that tells me they've been here a while. which is not a good sign. Because that means virtually no one has checked on this place. I mean, these are supposed to be Brother Vance's fellow disciples, and they didn't even tell him they were being attacked. I mean, I guess it's possible the Fallen might have scrambled their signals.
The followers.
But
we're too late.
They don't do that all that often, so it's hard to say.
Let me take a closer look. This is heavily modified Vex tech. I've never seen anything like it before. Let me try something. Wait. Something's happening. What is
going on? Whoa! New shell. Who? Did you actually just put me in a strange machine you've never seen before? Who does that?
Sagira.
Ikora. Great. Glad you're still around.
Look, we've got to move, right now. Osiris is in over his head, as usual, and I need to... Wait, where are we? Who are you? Oh, never mind. We've got to get to Mercury. And don't worry about your ghost. We're... sharing right now. He'll be back.
Yeah, so Sagira is going to be rolling with us for most of this expansion. Obviously, she's not going to be there permanently. We got to get our own ghost back. And you'll get to see a bit more of her personality and what I meant by how our ghost feels more bland compared to her. Something else I should mention is, much as, you know, in case how barren Mercury looks wasn't a big enough clue, I believe the Osiris, Curse of Osiris expansion is actually the shortest. There's going to be one more after this, which is longer than this one. The one after that is definitely so. And Shadow Keep is, I would still say, longer. So yeah, I would say Trials of Osiris, or Curse of Osiris is the shortest out of all the expansions. Which, again, is something else a lot of people didn't like. Because something about Destiny and Bungie is they do not do expansions very well. I remember hearing it way back when, and it still sticks to me to this day. If you want to see how to do an expansion right, look at The Witcher 3. That's how you do an expansion right. Bungie's expansions are usually bare-boned, very repetitive, and here's the most damning of edicts: they are overpriced to me. You don't want to get an expansion that you can literally beat in like an hour, and then all you get out of it is a new planet, which again, bare-boned. They don't even bring Trials of Osiris back, not that I care.
Osiris saw something in the Infinite Forest, and it terrified him.
Nothing terrifies him. We need to find him.
Osiris could be anywhere. Put in the wrong coordinates and you'll never find your way out.
I know I can do it. Osiris is in there protecting the rest of us from the Vex. He needs us. He needs me. And we're going to find him.
Now, a lot of ghosts are like that. They're extremely protective of their guardian. So that's par for the course. But anywho, I don't particularly care. I'm just naming some of the other complaints people had. But that was one of them. And I believe the expansion was $60. I'd be more surprised if it wasn't than I would if it was. Their expansions are incredibly, again, to me, overpriced when they need not be. So, as much as I love my Kit Bash shell, we're actually going to put on Sagira's actual shell. Because you saw earlier, there was kind of like a, don't want to call it an after image, because that's not exactly what that was. Her aura kind of around our ghost, as you saw right there. But with her actual shell, you can see it's still there, just a bit better overlaid. Plus, Sagira's shell is one of my favorite looking ones, but the downside is you pretty much have to exclusively use it on Mercury. And most of this expansion is either going to be on Mercury or at the tower. See? Also, "you're welcome" is kind of like her catchphrase, which I like a lot, because kind of sucks when you do a good deed and people don't appreciate you for it. You know, you don't want a medal or a statue built in your honor, but a simple thank you would be nice. So I do like she says "you're welcome" as her little catchphrase. But as you can see, 2 out of 3 of these perks are specifically for Mercury. So if you're not on Mercury, these 2 things literally do nothing. And then this middle one right here, this is a pretty common one, so this is not that big of a deal and is not worth putting on her shell just for this, unless you really, really like her shell, which is why I said it'd be nice if we can make our ghost look like however we want, but give them whatever perks of a certain cell. So say, for example, if I wanted the Kit Bash cell, but for whatever reason I wanted these perks, then I could do that. Can't help but have flashbacks to the Vault of Glass being here. One of the things the Vault of Glass is infamous for, it pretty much coined this term for all subsequent raids, and things not related to raids for that matter, is jumping puzzles. Where basically, if you fail, you die.
Osiris has adapted some of the technology of the forest to his own purposes. We're going to run into his reflections. They're copies of himself, made so he can explore multiple pathways at once. And yes, I am aware that it makes Osiris seem like an egomaniac. But don't worry, he is.
So I was talking about this earlier at the radio tower, or at least I meant to comment on it. And that is, and I said this before, I just thought it was bearing mentioning because it happened again and it was really apparent how fast I can get headshots with my ace of spades, but if I try that with the golden gun, I will miss if I don't aim it properly. That's why I believe the golden gun doesn't have aim assist unless you're using Way of the Outlaw. Which is fair, because it is a super. So in PvP, if golden gun had aim assist,
Osiris has to be here somewhere.
it would be even more broken.
Sagira, you shouldn't be here. And you brought someone new with you.
Who? Oh, her? Get this. She's a friend of Ikora's.
Yeah, fate is funny like that. But interesting thing about how Osiris looks like that is that's actually a nod to how the oracles
Send
looked.
word. Sagira has returned.
How the oracles looked in Destiny 1 and the Vault of Glass.
Osiris sent you away for your own safety. Your presence here puts everything at risk.
Well, guess what? He needs me.
And I believe in Beyond Light, or some point later.
No timelines of this time. We must create reflections to explore them.
The Vault of Glass, as well as other old raids, are supposed to be coming back. I know the Vault of Glass is one. That's the one they push the most. I don't know if like Crota's End and
It's almost too late.
anything like that is coming back.
What do they mean, too late? Something must have gone wrong. Where's the real Osiris?
You cannot go to him.
What? What did he find? What's so bad that it could scare Osiris?
Behold, the infinite forest. Planet-sized prediction engine, simulating trillions of realities in parallel, all geared towards a single Vex purpose.
Something interesting I should also mention before I forget. Oh, that's too good. I hesitated there for a second, so I didn't get as much crunch out of that as I had hoped. Anywho, something that bears mentioning is he mentioned how the Vex themselves can do this, but the Infinite Forest is pretty much their main thing.
The Vex are simulating reality in here, brute forcing the future. And before you ask, everything in here is real enough to kill you.
Keep going. You'll see.
They can create simulations that can actually kill you. Not the wildest thing the Vex have done, but again, they're so technologically advanced they can do almost anything. And I say almost anything because one of the things they can't do is simulate the light, like how the Traveler's light works. So they're actually kind of afraid of Guardians because it's one of the few things in all of existence. Keep in mind they can time travel, they can create simulations that can kill, holograms that can kill. Yet they still fear Guardians because they can't simulate the light, they can't predict or understand how it works, so they're naturally afraid of it. Another thing they can't predict is the War Mind, which is Rasputin, who I hate with a burning passion. We'll talk about him more in the later expansion, but I absolutely hate Rasputin. But there's two things they can't simulate, is the light and War Mind. But the interesting thing about the light part is Osiris wrote his lost prophecies, some believe, either to have been using the Infinite Forest or some kind of special insight he got as a warlock, because warlocks, they work a bit differently than other guardians. There's actual sect of warlocks who, in order to get visions or remember fragments of their past, actually allow themselves to be killed or commit suicide by like walking into the ocean or jumping off of ledges or shooting themselves. You'll never hear that happening from any other guardian, not really, but absolutely from warlocks. So they're kind of strange in that regard. But I said all that to say, and it's a question worth asking, is, matter of fact, there's actually some lore in game that touches on it, is that if the Vex cannot simulate the light, they can't predict or understand how it works, then how did Osiris write the lost prophecies? Something to think about. It could just be the fact that he's a warlock and he simply can, or he has a way to tell the future that not even his followers are aware of. I sincerely doubt Sagira will tell us if he did have another method. Another interesting thing is when you kill things in the Infinite Forest, or at least things that aren't simulations, another useful tip, I'm going to say trick there, is if you shoot the hobgoblins like that, you can actually get them suppressed, because you know they'll bring up their shield, so that can get them to stop shooting you. Unfortunately, it's kind of hard to get a throwing knife kill with the Vex because naturally their head is going to lean forward a bit, so usually the knife is going to hit that. I've done it before, but it almost comes down to luck. Also, this is a good point to point this out. This is how Vex, what's the word I want to use here? Not decorations, there's a better word, I just can't think of it right now. Architecture, there we go. This is how Vex architecture is. It's usually just a bunch of shapes circles, lots of squares, triangles. Even the triangles is especially interesting because it makes you think of the pyramids. Again, something that originally wasn't there in that opening cutscene. So I still think it's interesting how they do still appear just because I have the expansion for them. Anyway, yeah, so usually it's a bunch of random shapes, circles, squares, triangles.
Sometimes the forest blocks a path. Eliminate the daemon controlling the local simulation, and the door should open.
Yeah, demons are... they're not really anything too special. They're just majors that literally block the path. You cannot get through without killing them. That's all they do. They're much more dangerous in the haunted forest because there's actual penalties in there. But as I was saying, circles, squares, triangles, and typically stone or something resembling stone and what looks like gold but really isn't. Or at least, as far as I can tell, it's not actual gold because the Vex themselves, there's also something really weird they do. You can see the gold, we'll call it that, is actually underneath this stone. I'm not sure why they use stone, why don't they just use metal? So, really weird. Some of the Vex are also religious robots. That is as strange as it sounds, to the point where they worship the darkness and they actually fight the normal Vex at times, which is extremely weird. That's why I said the Vex are just the most interesting race to me. There's so many interesting things about them. And now we're probably about to see one of the most beautiful areas in all of Destiny, period. It's a shame you only really get to see it inside the Infinite Forest.
I will show you where it all began. Mercury. Untold centuries ago, before the Vex arrived. Here the Vex planted the seed that became the Infinite Forest. And it's mine. Panoptes. Panoptes has a single purpose. Reshape reality for the Vex. All this started with a single Vex. Will it end with the arrival of a single Guardian? And only the Vex.
The dialogue was messed up a bit there. I don't know why. I gave him enough time to talk.
Now I see why he's made so many new reflections.
Yes, we've tried and failed to prevent this outcome. Now even our best efforts only slow it. But you must see for yourself.
Feels like I'm floating. I know I'm not, but that was weird.
Tell me, Guardian, were you there when the Traveler woke? A living Traveler changes everything. For good and bad. Now many things have been set in motion. Osiris wrote the lost prophecies to warn the other Guardians, and they sent him away. You cannot exile the future.
So these are Vandals. Well, technically they're demons, but they're demons modeled after Vandals. The thing about Vandals are they're the most versatile of all the Fallen because they'll use just about anything. They're not the most dangerous, just the most versatile. They range from foot soldiers to melee fighters, as you can see there, to snipers, and as far as I know, they're the only faction, I think faction might be the wrong term there, but the only Fallen to be so well versed in various different weapons. Like captains usually wield dual swords, or scorch cannons, or not wire rifles. I forgot the name of the super annoying. I remember when I was fighting the Fallen for the very first time in Destiny 1, it was the most annoying weapon because their projectiles don't do a lot of damage, but it just feels so annoying to get hit by them. But it's the slow traveling, swirling arc bullets that is this pretty much typical weapon of the of Vandals. See how fast that guy moved? He was like right here. And as soon as I came out of that animation, he was right on top of me. But I was ready for him, thanks to Ace here. Man, I love this gun. I guess while we're on that topic, I'll talk about that a bit more. They're supposed to be buffing all hand cannons. There was something that looked like some kind of beta. I saw one of the YouTubers I follow play, and obviously he was using a hand cannon. Most people were. I didn't see anyone using Ace, interestingly. I don't know why. But, I was supposed to be a melee attack, but my character wasn't clicking there. Anyway, I was saying, I said, be extra careful here. And again, that's why I always jump with a rocket launcher, because they love to run up on you. So, if you don't, that looks like some ghosts should be able to scan, but apparently not. That's something they love to do to you, is they love to run up on you when you're trying to use your rocket launcher. I don't want to risk using that because I'm not sure what exactly will happen. I'm pretty sure it'll shoot me over there. I like to hope. Or it could shoot me over here. I really don't know. But since all I have to do is this, I'd rather do that. Plus, I don't want the game to get confused where I go beyond what I'm supposed to. It's like, hey, you're supposed to interact with that gate. So, rather be safe than sorry. Anyway, that's why I always jump with rocket launchers, or almost always. If I feel I can get away with it, I won't. But 9 times out of 10, I'll jump.
Stop Panoptes. But none of us have discovered a timeline where we succeed. This is what it looks like when we fail. This is the future the Vex want.
Now, unlike that last beautiful area where, again, you can get to see that again a little bit in one of the strikes, this area you, I think, in a way, do actually get to see more than once. It's in a adventure, though. Yeah, it looks something like this.
The lighthouse. This is what Osiris saw.
Neither light nor darkness exists anymore. The sun's warmth is gone. All life lost. That was before you. You are the key. You can stop this. Every timeline we've tracked leads here. We must destroy Panoptes to prevent this dark future. Panoptes! He's found us! Go! You're more important than any of us now.
This is bad. Really, really bad. We need to work together, all of us. You, me, Osiris, Ikora. If we don't stop Panoptes, you've seen what happens.
Yeah, I don't know what the heck Panoptes is. There's not a single Vex in the game that's like him. Or it, I should say. It reminds
Ikora, you there?
of a Hydra, though.
Sagira, you just left. Where's Osiris?
In trouble. We all are. I'll explain everything on our way back to the city.
this, I guess, is kind of nice that we actually stopped here. I actually forgot all about this, but I actually do have a prior engagement I need to take care of first, and I don't want you all waiting around for like an hour or however long this is going to take. So first, we are going to go to the tower. We're going to talk to Ikora, accept the next mission. Then we are going to... Then I'm going to have to end the stream, and I'll be back as soon as I can. And hopefully the you-know-what will still be stable. I wanted to do this yesterday, actually, but you-know-what wouldn't allow it. I do see something down there near my cloak, but I've noticed in the past, I just so used to doing it, I don't really stop and think about it. But that cloak itself is kind of story relevant, so I'm trying not to just hover over it like this. Is why the first time I did that, I was like, hey, whatever you do, don't go back. It's kind of spoiler territory. And in retrospect, in the off chance that I actually get one of those, I think I'm just going to head straight to Ikora after I pick this up, because for all I know, see if he actually has anything.
Sadly, the Red Legion's defeat will not bring back our lost archives.
Okay, I guess it's not that big of a deal then. But yeah, knowing my luck, if I actually had engrams to turn to him, it probably would actually become the cloak I'm trying to keep a secret for right now. So let's go see what Ikora's plan is.
So, everything. Giving up yet. If nothing else, the Vex are methodical. They'd have a map, and that map will show where Panoptes is. There's only one place they could possibly store that much data. The Pyramidion on Io. Hunt well.
Sorry.
Now, we really haven't discussed the Pyramidion. I think,
Do you have knowledge to share?
Asher might have mentioned it before. But him mentioning it and us actually exploring the strike called the Pyramidion is not the same thing. So I'll just try to fill in the blanks, if there are any that are relevant when we actually do it. I'm gonna go ahead and see what the Drifter has for me, grab this mission. Well, actually no, not yet, because again, that might get into spoiler territory. This should be fine though.
We know you have a choice in Cryptarch. Thank you for choosing the Drifter, Dakota.
Because I don't have to worry about getting that cloak here. Also, there's a small chance you can actually get exotics from these once you unlock that upgrade. It's happened to me before, many times. Pretty regularly if you turn in enough.
I need you alive, sister.
But with that being said, thank you all for tuning in, and I will see you around, hopefully in a little bit.